My child, the air around you has begun to shift. Something hidden has awakened, something the world around you cannot see, but heaven feels its movement like a tremor before a storm. You've felt it too, haven't you? That strange heaviness in the atmosphere, that sense that something unseen has begun to watch, to wait, to plan. This is not your imagination. This is a warning from the depths of eternity itself. A conspiracy has been born, and it carries the scent of death. Not death of flesh alone, but of purpose, of faith, of peace. An ancient darkness has begun to whisper again, and it has written your name in the smoke of envy and fear. But listen closely, my beloved, because I speak not to frighten you, but to prepare you. Heaven does not warn without reason. There is a plot forming, not of men, but of spirits who cannot stand the light that now rests on your life. They have watched you rise in silence. They have seen how your prayers pierce the veil. They have heard your faith echo in the night, and it has terrified them. So they have set in motion a plan to strike what protects you most. But hear me well, my child. This plan will fail, because I, the Lord your God, have seen their meetings in the shadows. I have heard their whispers, their oaths, their cruel intentions. And before their plan ever began, I already wrote its end. Yet you must understand what is unfolding, so that you may stand firm and not fall into fear when the signs appear. It began on a night when even the stars dimmed. In the realm between light and shadow, where angels patrol the borders of creation, there was movement. Faint, but wrong. One of my watchers, the guardian of gateways, felt the air tremble as a forbidden presence crossed through the boundary that separates the holy from the profane. He called out to the courts of heaven, and his voice shook eternity. "My lord," he said, "something has crossed that should not have been able to." And I turned, and I saw a scroll, black, burning, alive. Its edges hissed as if light itself refused to touch it. When it reached my throne, the hall fell silent. Every angel bowed, because that scroll carried intent, not written in words, but in living shadow. It was not from my kingdom. It was from the pit. And when I opened it, I saw two names. One glowed in light, the other trembled in darkness. The first name was yours. Yes, yours, my child, written in light so pure that even the darkness flinched from it. The second name, I will not yet speak, for that name still moves among you, pretending to be harmless. But know this, that name belongs to one you know, one who walks near you, one whose presence feels safe, yet whose spirit has been marked as the next battlefield. And the scroll whispered, "One must fall for the other to awaken. But I say unto you, none will fall, because I, the Lord, will not allow the enemy to purchase destiny with death. Still, you must be alert, because this battle is not physical. It is spiritual, a war of intention, deception, and unseen manipulation. The enemy cannot touch your body, so it seeks to wound your heart. It cannot destroy your calling, so it will attempt to break your confidence. And when it fails at that, it will strike where it believes you are most vulnerable. Your protector, yes, your guardian, the one I appointed over you from the moment breath entered your lungs. You do not see him, but you have felt him. Every time disaster passed you by, every time fear whispered, "This is the end," and yet you survived. Every time hope returned when all seemed lost. That was him, Ellen, the defender of the dawn. He was with you when storms raged around you. He was with you when betrayal tried to break you. He was with you when your soul wept in silence and you wondered if I still heard you. He has never left your side. not for a single heartbeat. And that is why the darkness has written his name. Because if they can strike your guardian, they think your light will falter. If they can weaken your shield, they think they can enter your life undetected. But they are wrong. Because even now, as these words reach your ears, heaven is moving. Michael himself has been summoned. The armies of light are taking position. The golden banners are being raised. The sound you feel vibrating in your spirit right now. That's not anxiety. It's the resonance of angelic preparation. Your name has been surrounded by living fire. Your household marked by the seal of light. And I tell you, no conspiracy formed in shadow can penetrate what I have ordained in light. Still, you must do your part. You must awaken. You must learn to discern the subtle signs, the sudden tension in the air, the strange dreams, the unease that appears without cause. Those are signals, my child, not coincidences. When you feel them, don't run from them. Pause. Pray. Declare out loud, I am covered. My guardian is protected. Each time you do, the light around you expands. Ellen's strength doubles, the darkness recoils, and your destiny grows brighter. This, my beloved, is the first revelation. You were not warned because you are weak. You were warned because you are chosen. And every chosen soul attracts warfare. But do not fear it. For the presence of battle is the proof of purpose, and purpose cannot be killed. So stand firm, lift your head, and remember this truth. What the enemy plots in midnight, I expose by morning. This is only the beginning. The heavens are not done speaking. Stay with me, for in what comes next, you will witness how angels fight for those who belong to me. And when you see what unfolds, you will never doubt again that heaven has your name written in flame. The hour has opened, my child, and the veil between realms thins like breath on glass. What you feel as a pressure on your chest is not fear. It is the gravitational pull of glory, the weight of heaven taking its stand around your name. Listen to me and hold your peace, for I will show you what unfolded the moment you whispered, I am covered. My guardian is protected. In the courts of light, the floor itself began to sing, a low, living hum, like wind passing through crystal. The pillars of fire that frame eternity leaned in, and the river that flows from the throne glowed brighter, as if stars were born within it. Ellen, the defender of the dawn, stood upon the threshold that meets your world. His wings spread like banners after a storm, each feather a blade of radiance, each blade etched with the prayers you thought I did not hear. He held a sword forged from the first morning, tempered in the quiet faith of your midnight hours, and in its edge were the reflections of every time you forgave, every time you chose mercy instead of rage. Then it began, the soundless march of the shadowed ones. They came like a swarm of eclipses, forms without faces, clothed in the residues of old wounds and unfinished griefs. They carried with them the weapons the darkness always trusts: accusation, suspicion, distraction, delay. Their leader drifted forward, taller than the rest, a cloak woven of oaths broken by jealous tongues. He raised a hand, and the temperature of the unseen dropped like winter in a breath. His voice moved like iron across stone. Lower the shield. Strike the guardian. Leave the human to collapse under the weight of unanswered why. Ellen did not answer with talk. He answered with light. One step, and the ground beneath him turned to a mirror of gold. One breath, and the names of those who interceded for you, ancestors, friends, saints unknown on earth, rose like a choir within his aura. He lifted his sword, and the first arc cut the air, a half moon of dawn that seared the nearest shadows to ash. They recoiled, hissing, clutching at the tatters of their emptiness, for light not only exposes, it unthreads. What darkness sows with lies, I unmake with truth. Yet the Ancient One among them knew another way. He gestured, and from the edges of your memory, a storm began to gather. The weight of the past, the favorite snare of the pit. Images spun like black leaves, failures you regret, words you wish you could take back, faces that turned away, nights you thought I went silent. They swirled toward Ellen, not to wound his body, but to thin his flame by dimming your courage. Because that is how this war moves. The shadow tries to draft your own history to fight against your future. Ellen looked toward you across the distance. Only prayer can cross. His voice reached your spirit like warmth through a winter window. Stand in what you know, not in what you remember. Speak light. And though you did not fully understand, your lungs found the words I taught you. I am covered. My guardian is protected. At that decree, the storm faltered. Guilt lost its grip. Shame forgot its language. The darkness staggered, stunned by the power of a human choosing trust over replay. Then the horizon of heaven opened, and Michael came, a line of fire drawn into a man. Where his feet touched, order stood up straight. Where his eyes turned, armies remembered why they were made. He spoke not to the enemy, but to the light. Hold the boundary, anchor the shield, complete the circle. At once the watchers took their stations, north, south, east, west, forming a ring around your name. Between each sentry, a bridge of praise appeared, woven from the songs you forgot you sang when the kitchen was small and the bills were larger. When you thanked me anyway. Those moments were not wasted. They became architecture. Strike! The Ancient One snarled, and the swarm surged. They rushed the ring, trying to slip through thin places. Irritations in your day, careless words from tired mouths, the lure to answer fools with fury. But every entry cracked against a law older than sunrise. What is yielded to me cannot be stolen by shadows. Your surrender forged iron. Your yes became a wall. Ellen moved with the calm of a seasoned dawn. He did not chase every hiss. He guarded the hinge, your heart's gate. Each swing of his sword was not frantic, but precise, like a bell tolling truth. The first stroke severed accusation from memory. The second divided delay from process. The third broke suspicion off of love. I saw the tally of his blows and wrote on the air, mercy remembered. Because every victory an angel wins by your faith is credited to your account as if you swung the blade yourself. Still, the Ancient One had one more tactic, the counterfeit prophecy, the whisper that says, this is pointless. Nothing changes. He lifted his cloak and cast over the field a veil of numbness, attempting to make your spirit tired of believing. Ellen paused, then planted his sword point first into the ground. The earth of heaven rang. He lifted his hands and spoke a single sentence that shook the rafters of time. Let the human remember the first rescue. Immediately, a picture rose inside you, one you had not revisited in years. The day the accident almost happened, the call that came just in time, the door that opened when logic said it couldn't. Your chest warmed, your throat loosened, gratitude surfaced, honest and unscripted. With that gratitude, the veil tore. Numbness broke like thin ice in spring. Michael turned to the shadows. His voice was not loud, it was final. Judgment has looked upon your paperwork and found no jurisdiction. The seal upon this name is new and unbroken. At his decree, the swarm fractured, their edges failed. What held them together, agreement, collapsed. Darkness cannot stand where its lie is outnumbered. Truth had gathered, therefore shadow had to scatter. But I would not waste the moment. What good is a defended gate if the door behind it remains ajar? So I spoke to you, quiet, practical, holy. Now, child, partner with the victory. Do not admire the miracle, apply it. And I gave you 4 simple acts, keys that click the lock on earth where the decree has already closed it in heaven. Walk your space with peace in your mouth. Say, only light may live here. Lay your hand upon door frames, chairs, the desk where decisions are made, and whisper, this place belongs to God. Bless the one who envies you. Surrender their name to mercy until your chest loosens. And give thanks for Ellen out loud, for gratitude is armor on an angel's wings. As you resolve to obey, the battlefield brightened. I saw you, in the room where you often pace and think, lifting your chin a little higher than yesterday. You exhaled like someone setting down a heavy box. You did not know it, but that exhale agreed with Michael's order. He signaled. The watchers sealed the ring. A dome of quiet formed over your hours. Time itself seemed to soften around your name, like a storm deciding to rain elsewhere. The Ancient One, sensing the tide irreversibly turned, tried one last reach. He drew from the dust an image of a friend's careless phrase, a misunderstanding still unhealed. He flung it like a thorn toward your thoughts to make you rehearse offense. Ellen stepped between the memory and your mind. The thorn struck his armor and fell as a spark. He caught it in his palm, breathed upon it, and it became a seed of compassion. He cast that seed into the field of your future, and I marked the place for a reconciliation you do not see yet. This is how heaven redeems even thrown knives, by forging them into keys for tomorrow. Then I spoke to the Ancient One, not to parley, but to end. Enough! The warrant you brought is void. The guardian you targeted is strengthened. The human you hoped to scatter has learned to stand. At my word, the cloak of the leader unraveled like smoke abandoning a fire. He shrank from the field, dragged backward by the very oaths that summoned him, and his cohort went with him, not by chase but by verdict. Because in my kingdom battles conclude not with chaos, but with order restored. Silence lay over the plain, the holy kind. Ellen knelt, not from injury, but from worship. Michael laid a hand upon his shoulder. Well fought, brother of dawn. The child is learning. Ellen lifted his eyes toward your world, and his smile came to you as a breeze that moved your curtain, though the window was closed. You paused and wondered for a heartbeat, then went back to your task, lighter by a weight you could not name. Hear me, beloved. What just happened is not a myth dressed in poetry. It is logistics, holy logistics, by which your days are kept. And because you have consented to peace, I now widen the decree. Your mornings will wake without that sudden dread. Your evenings will not echo with the old doubts. Conversations will find softer landings. Even devices and deadlines will bend around providence in small, measurable mercies. These are signs, not of luck, but of jurisdiction shifting in your favor. Yet I will not hide this from you. The enemy studies patterns. He will test gates again, not with the same battering ram, but with subtler picks. Busyness that steals prayer, noise that steals focus, flattery that steals sobriety. Guard your peace the way kings guard treaties. When provoked, choose quiet. When rushed, choose slow. When praised, choose low. These 3 choices keep the dome clear. These 3 choices keep Ellen at full strength. And now, because you stood, I release the next portion of reward. Clarity. Where you used to feel fog, you will begin to sense direction. Ideas will arrange themselves while you wash dishes, while you walk, while you rest. The problem that would not yield will present a seam. Pull there, and it will open. People who drained your soul will grow disinterested in you without a fight. Let them go as gently as autumn releases leaves. I am pruning so that I may pour. Do you see, child, how conspiracy collapses when communion deepens? The plot against you did not fail only because angels fought. It failed because you agreed with me. Agreement is architecture. Say it again, here, now, as a signature upon the scene. I am covered. My guardian is protected. My atmosphere belongs to God. As you speak it, Michael raises the standard over your calendar. Ellen traces a circle around your thresholds. The watchers notch the corners of your days with unseen gold. Before this chapter closes, I will show you one more vision so you may carry it like a lamp inside your ribs. You are standing in a wide field just after rain. The clouds are parting, and there, anchored in the earth before you, is Ellen's sword. Point down, handle up, like a flag that claims the land. On the blade is engraved a phrase you will remember when nights come long. What was meant to thin your light has thickened your armor. You reach and touch the hilt. It is warm, alive, certain. You do not pull it free. You do not need to, because it is not a weapon for your hand, but a sign for your path. Wherever you walk, that standard walks with you, invisible to eyes that mock, undeniable to powers that watch. Now rise from this moment with a steady heart. Do the small, faithful things you thought were too plain to matter. Make your bed and your prayer in the same motion. Answer with kindness the voice that expected your bite. Choose the unhurried yes or the clean no instead of the anxious maybe. These are acts of state in my kingdom, and angels move at their sound. This is part 2 of your unveiling, child of light. The ambush has failed. The guardian stands. The dome holds. In what comes next, I will take you to the earthly doorway the enemy used, the thin place in your routine, and I will teach you to shut it with wisdom, to seal it with blessing, to turn it into a gate of favor. You will learn not only to survive battles, but to inherit the ground where they tried to happen. And when you do, those who once whispered your fall will watch your rise and call it what it is: mercy in motion. The scene shifts, my child. The heavens grow still, but below, the world of earth begins to move again. You open your eyes, unaware that the battle above has already rewritten your atmosphere. Outside, the morning looks the same, yet something feels subtly changed, as if the air itself recognizes your name. The sounds of traffic, the rhythm of daily life, the hum of ordinary hours, they continue, but underneath them, a divine current flows. You are walking inside a victory you cannot yet see. Still, there remains a doorway, a thin place, through which the enemy once slipped to plant anxiety, discord, and distraction. And now, I must show it to you, not to bring fear, but to teach closure. Look carefully around your life. Where does unrest always start? Is it a certain space, a conversation, a repeating thought, a device that hums louder than your peace? That, my child, is the threshold. The battle that began in heaven often finds its echo in your habits on earth. You think of the place where sighs come easiest, the corner of the room where worry likes to sit. I whisper, that is where the shadow tried to rent space. But hear me, you owe it no rent, no memory, no mention. You will not cleanse it with fear. You will cleanse it with blessing. Walk toward that spot now in your spirit, even if your body stays still. See it in your mind, the doorway, the desk, the phone, the quiet hallway. Lift your heart and say, only light may live here. As you speak, I move. Invisible winds stir around you. The temperature of the unseen rises. Ellen, your guardian, steps to your side, not as warrior now, but as witness. He kneels beside you, touching the space with one wing tip, marking it for peace. The shadow that once claimed it dissolves like breath on glass. Then I say, now fill it. Because an empty space is a silent invitation, and I do not create vacuums. I create dwelling. Place joy there, even a small one, a song, a prayer, a moment of gratitude, the name of someone you love spoken gently. Every time joy visits that place, the residue of battle thins until it cannot be found again. But the doorway is not only physical, it is emotional. There are words you replay, arguments you revisit, regrets that whisper, if only. Those too are doorways. And I tell you, close them. Not by denial, but by truth. Say within yourself, that moment taught me, therefore it cannot haunt me. Do you feel the shift already? That's what truth sounds like when it locks a gate. Now, watch this in vision. A house appears before you, your spiritual dwelling. Each room glows with a different color. One room holds memory, another carries hope, another is filled with the faces of those you love. Walk with me through it. See that door slightly ajar at the back? That was the opening. The enemy used that sliver of permission, resentment, exhaustion, unspoken worry, to breathe confusion into the house. But now you stand before it with keys of light. Ellen stands behind you. Michael's flame hovers overhead. Place your hand on the handle and say, I release what entered here. Then close it slowly, gently, like sealing a chapter. When it clicks shut, the sound echoes not just in the house, but through realms. That is the sound of authority returning to its rightful owner. And now the room warms. Colors deepen. Air steadies. The light does not flicker. It lingers. That lingering is me. Where confusion reigned, clarity takes the throne. Where tension hid, calm now rests. Where fear breathed, peace sings. You will begin to notice it outwardly soon. The same person who used to drain your spirit will now pass you without effect. The same atmosphere that once made you anxious will lose its sting. Because peace is not the absence of noise, it is the presence of alignment. Now listen, for I am still speaking. The plot that was designed to destroy your guardian has been overturned, but its residue may linger around your routines. This is why I instruct you to practice peace intentionally, not as a mood, but as a discipline. Wake and declare, my morning belongs to light. Eat and say, my provision carries peace. Rest and whisper, my night is guarded. Such words weave shields over the hours before they arrive. Heaven hears every declaration, and every declaration becomes architecture around your days. You will find that as you live this way, Ellen does not only guard, you begin to co-labor. Your awareness becomes weapon, your composure becomes command, and the darkness that once hunted you will begin to avoid you, not out of pity, but out of memory, because it will remember this. Your stillness broke its rhythm. Child, this is what I meant when I said, you are in transition, not in danger. You are shifting from defended to defender, from guarded to guardian. The authority that shielded you now rests upon you. Your peace will become a fortress for others. Those near you will feel calmer without knowing why. Your laughter will disinfect rooms where worry once lived. Your kindness will silence storms that never had words, because what I give you, I give through you. Even now, angels are mapping new boundaries around your influence. Lines of light stretch from your home to every place you walk, every message you send, every heart you touch. Your life has become a living perimeter of grace. Do you see what that means, my child? Wherever you stand, darkness has to leave. You carry a portable dawn. Now pause and breathe. Let this truth settle deeper than emotion. Say softly, I am covered. My guardian is protected. My home is sealed in light. My heart is a gate for peace. You feel warmth behind your eyes. That is my confirmation. Your words have finished what heaven began. From this day, when you enter any room, you will notice the air shift. People will feel lighter. Conversations will soften. Tension will dissolve without argument. That is not coincidence. That is command. It means heaven recognizes your authority. And remember this, authority is not loud. It walks quietly, it listens first, it loves fastest. The greatest power is the one that carries calm into chaos. This is how you shut the last door of the conspiracy. Not by shouting at darkness, but by living so full of light that darkness runs out of language. The plot that began as death now ends as your elevation. And when others ask, how did you overcome? You will simply smile and say, peace fought for me. And I agreed with it. My beloved, this is not the end. It is the hinge. From here, I will show you what happens when heaven rewards obedience. When you close one door in faith, I open 7 in favor. In the next revelation, I will reveal the blessing written inside the ashes, the abundance hidden in what once felt like loss. And you will see that nothing was stolen, only stored until you were strong enough to receive it without fear. Stay with me, my child. The dawn has only begun to rise. The light expands, my child, spilling across the unseen horizon like a sunrise that refuses to end. Every corner that was once dim now glows softly, revealing patterns that you never noticed before, lines of grace drawn through the chaos, meaning hidden inside what once felt meaningless. You are beginning to see from above, not from beneath. This is how heaven trains the eyes of its chosen. Through storms first, then through peace that speaks louder than thunder. Listen carefully now, for what I reveal next is the harvest of your endurance. Heaven has records, pages that glow with living ink, and your name is written upon them. Each prayer you ever whispered, each time you chose faith over fear, has been inscribed. And when the final door closed, those pages turned. The court of heaven stood in silence, waiting for my decree. Then I spoke. Release what was withheld. Return what was delayed. Restore what was stolen. And immediately the angels of recompense moved. They travel not with noise, but with certainty, carrying scrolls sealed with your breakthrough. Even now they walk among the corridors of your days. One touches opportunities thought lost. They revive. Another brushes relationships once strained. They soften. Another moves through your rest, stitching your piece back together thread by thread. You will begin to notice alignment. The right people appearing at the right hour, favor falling where effort once failed. That is not chance. That is fulfillment. Because, my beloved, you did not just survive a plot. You graduated a season. When Ellen fought, when Michael decreed, when you stood still and believed, you completed an unseen training. You are no longer reacting to darkness. You are now directing light. And heaven rewards completion with inheritance. I am expanding your territory, not only in circumstance, but in awareness. You will begin to discern opportunities you once overlooked. Ideas will wake you in the night, and this time, instead of fading by morning, they will stay. Because they are not random thoughts. They are divine instructions disguised as creativity. Take note of what stirs your spirit, for within that stirring lies your next assignment. You will not chase success. Success will recognize your peace and draw near. You will not beg for connection. The right voices will find you because light calls to light. And you will not fear lack, for provision follows purpose. Once purpose ignites, resources flow like rivers finding the sea. But understand, child, this reward is not only about gain, it is about governance. You are being trusted with influence, not applause. The heavens measure worth not by numbers, but by faithfulness. And I have seen you faithful in obscurity. Therefore, I now reveal you in light. When you speak, others will feel conviction, not confusion. When you act, peace will follow as proof of my presence. When you rest, the earth will rest with you, because creation responds to those aligned with its creator. The season of struggle forged within you a steadiness that cannot be faked. You no longer tremble at uncertainty, because you have seen what certainty looks like. It looks like me, standing in your storm, unshaken. That awareness, my beloved, is your anointing. It is invisible oil, poured not on your head but within your thoughts, making your mind slippery to lies and your heart resistant to fear. Now I tell you this secret. Every time you choose peace instead of panic, you build a throne for wisdom. And wisdom, once seated, begins to multiply what was once withheld. This is why new blessings come easily after war, because peace attracts what panic repelled. Your finances will breathe again. The stagnation will end, not because of striving, but because the air has changed. The same projects that failed before will flourish under the new climate of favor. Partnerships will find balance, not through force, but through alignment. You will notice that doors do not creak when I open them, they glide. But as blessings flow, guard humility. Remember what built the fortress: faith, patience, gratitude, surrender. Forget none of them when the tables are filled again. Do not boast in survival. Testify of grace. Do not speak from vengeance. Speak from victory. For vengeance ends battles, but gratitude begins kingdoms. Now, look again in vision. The field you saw before, where Ellen's sword was planted, is changing. From the ground, new shoots rise, shimmering with light. Each represents a promise now taking form. One glows gold. That is restoration of what you lost. One shines silver. That is renewal of relationships. One burns blue. That is revelation, insight, and divine clarity. And at the center, a tall, radiant tree begins to grow. Its roots are made of gratitude. Its fruit is peace. Ellen stands beside it, watching, guarding, smiling. His armor no longer gleams from battle. It glows from rest. This is your garden now, the evidence of endurance. Every prayer became a seed. Every tear became water. Every act of faith became sunlight. And now it blooms. You will begin to notice manifestations in the natural. A message long awaited will arrive. A door once closed will reopen without effort. A person who once rejected you will seek reconciliation. Take none of this lightly. Each sign is heaven's handwriting upon your timeline. Do not rush. Let timing unfold. For the same God who orchestrated battle also arranges blessing. And when he arranges, nothing overlaps. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is late. I tell you this truth, my child. You are no longer the hunted. You are the herald. Your voice will carry calm into chaos, hope into fear, and love into resentment. That is the true inheritance, the ability to shift atmospheres. You do not need titles to hold authority. Peace itself is your crown. Wear it quietly. Walk it boldly. From this moment, every step you take writes history in two worlds. Earth records motion, heaven records meaning. The enemy cannot read this new chapter. Only light can translate it. And when I call you forward again, It will not be for battle. It will be for building. Because after every war comes architecture. And you, my beloved, are now a master builder of peace. Stay still for a moment and listen, not with your ears, but with your spirit. Do you hear that distant chime? That is the sound of gates opening, the gates of reward, the doors of expansion. Step forward with reverence, not haste. What awaits is not small. It is generational. The victory you secured tonight will protect lives you have not yet met. Generations who will call your endurance their foundation. This, my child, is what it means to turn conspiracy into covenant. The plot against you became the prophecy for you, and heaven once again writes upon your life in radiant ink. Blessed are the unbroken. Blessed are the steadfast. Blessed are those who stayed when leaving was easier. Now breathe deeply. You have crossed through battle, through revelation, through restoration. The dawn is fully risen. The light will not fade. The story that once trembled now stands firm. You are sealed, strengthened, and seen. And I, the Lord your God, call this chapter by one name, the covenant of unshakable peace. The heavens settle, my child, yet the story does not end here. For peace once planted must be tended. A covenant is not merely written, it must be lived. What I am about to show you will ensure that your light never dims again. You have been carried through fire and shadow. You have seen the face of war, the whisper of conspiracy, and the mercy of deliverance. But now you must learn the rhythm of preservation, how to dwell in victory without drifting into pride, how to live in abundance without forgetting grace. Listen closely. The greatest danger after deliverance is distraction. When storms end, silence begins. And in silence, the enemy often tries to return through comfort, through routine, through forgetfulness. Do not allow your peace to become passive. Peace is not the absence of battle. It is the active presence of order. Every day that you wake, reaffirm that order. Say, my home is still guarded. My soul is still aligned. My purpose is still awake. These simple declarations act as anchors in the unseen. Each one roots you deeper into divine stability. The reason you are being taught this is because your life has now become a reference point for others. You will find people drawn to you, some in pain, some in confusion, some in search of the light that surrounds you. They will not understand it, but they will feel it. And when they ask, what changed? You will not speak of angels or warfare. You will speak of faith, forgiveness, and love that does not fail. That is how heaven spreads its victory, through humility clothed in power. There will be days when the world tries to test you again, perhaps through sudden news, harsh words, or moments of doubt. But you will notice something different this time. The fear will not stay. It will knock, but it will find no doorway, because you sealed them all. And the moment you feel anxiety rise, whisper this truth: nothing enters unless it agrees with peace. That sentence alone is a sword sharper than steel. It tells the unseen realm who owns the atmosphere. My beloved, you will also notice something else soon. Your discernment will sharpen. You will sense intentions before words are spoken. You will feel when a place is heavy, and your presence will shift it without speech. This is the mantle of spiritual maturity, the ability to govern by stillness. You have grown from one who reacts to one who restores. Ellen knows this too. He no longer stands with sword raised. Now he walks beside you as counsel, his armor gleaming with calm fire. When you pray, you will sometimes feel warmth along your right side. That is him, aligning with your spirit, reinforcing your prayers with heaven's echo. When you rest, a cool wind will cross your face. That is his sign that the night remains guarded. Do not chase manifestations. Let them happen quietly. Faith does not shout, it breathes, and its breath sustains what miracles began. I must now tell you what the next season holds. It is a season of multiplication. What was small will grow fast, and what grew fast will deepen roots. But remember, growth without grounding leads to collapse. So I will deepen your foundation even as I expand your reach. This may look for a moment like delay, but it is actually depth. You will not grow like grass. You will grow like a tree, slow at first, unshakable later. People will wonder how you remain unbothered when chaos rises again in the world. They will ask, "Why aren't you afraid?" And you will say, "Because I already saw darkness lose." Your testimony will not be a sermon, it will be stability. It will teach by presence. That is why peace was forged so fiercely. It was always meant to overflow into others. Soon, you will begin to dream differently. Your dreams will no longer warn of attacks. They will unveil assignments. You will see people, places, ideas, and I will whisper instructions through them. Keep a record. Write what you see, for heaven will confirm them in sequence, one by one. And when opportunities arise, new doors, new voices, new seasons, test them with this question. Does it carry peace or pressure? If it carries peace, step in. If it carries pressure, wait. For my will never rushes. Even divine acceleration moves in rhythm, not in panic. Your guardian will help you discern these timings. Ellen moves in silence, but he leaves signs. A feather that appears where none should. A sudden breeze during prayer. A song that plays with words echoing your thoughts. Do not dismiss them as coincidence. They are confirmations. Heaven speaks in subtleties, so the faithful will listen deeper. Now, let us seal this season. Close your eyes and breathe. Place your hand over your heart and whisper, "I receive the covenant of unshakable peace. I will live from calm, not from chaos. I will move from faith, not from fear. And wherever I go, light will follow." You feel that stillness settle again. That is heaven's signature. Approval written in serenity. This is how the story concludes. Not with an explosion, but with equilibrium. Not with noise, but with knowing. My child, remember, every plot that began against you has become your platform. Every attack has become your anointing. Every scar has become your story of survival. And I am not done blessing you. The next chapter will not be about battle, but about building beauty from ashes. You will plant where others burned. You will sing where others mourned. You will lead without demanding and heal without striving. This is your new identity. Carrier of peace, architect of grace, keeper of dawn. The heavens rejoice over you, and your name glows upon the scroll once blackened by threat. It now reads, protected, promoted, prepared. And as Ellen lifts his gaze toward the horizon, he whispers, your final blessing. The child of light has learned to shine without fear. Go now, my beloved. Walk softly, but walk boldly. For your steps are not ordinary. They are echoes of divine victory. The war has ended, the dawn is full, and peace has found its eternal home inside you.